When I was in high school, I didn't really spend my days going to malls like other kids. Sure, I did a couple of times, which only led me to get kicked out of the Lego store for yelling at a kid how to properly build a house.
You know what you're doing wrong, Timmy.
But while I didn't really go to malls, or well, actually have friends, I did watch a special cartoon that showed me what that was like. This cartoon being 16. The show featured 6 16-year-olds and their adventures around a gigantic ass mall of the Galleria. While most of my days at year 16 involved, well, the complete opposite kind of activities, it was fun to occasionally tune into this show to see a bunch of dork teens get mall jobs and go on dates, and most of the time be super shallow teenagers.
Hey Caitlin, here's your wallet.
Billy and I broke up.
Oh no! What happened?
He had back knee.
Uh-huh, and?
And that's it.
But, ayo, it's a cartoon, am I right? So apparently when the show aired in the good old United States, it first aired on Cartoon Network, but they were like, nah, we don't want this shit, and dropped it. So Nickelodeon picked it up, but they dropped it very shortly after, leading for Cartoon Network to pick it up once again. I mean, the show is pretty good, and while it still has a lot of issues, it's chill and pleasing to the eye with an asterisk. While the animation appeals to a very clean aesthetic, and all the characters are recognizable and distinguishable, the actual animation is so bad. The more you pay attention to it, the more it hurts. All of the movements in the talking and walking just feel so unnatural. It's like this.
I think I speak for all guys when I say abso-frickin-lutely.
But I can't deny that I love the show. A lot of it's super chill and incredibly fun to watch. So the 6 main characters of 16 are Jude, Jonesy, Caitlin, Jen, Nikki, and Wyatt. Jude has the same voice actor as the host of Total Drama Island, and the whole show is produced by the same exact production company actually. So Jude is the stoner character. He skates and does crazy stupid shit, all while being so chill about everything. Caitlin is the character that always wants to shop and is dating 300 guys a month and dumping them for any reason, but then also not. Her entire character is so confusing. Jen is the one super involved with sports and athletic activities. Nikki is the goth girl who just so happens to work at the cartoons version of Old Navy. Wyatt is the character that's really into music and coffee. And Jonesy is that character that always gets a job at the start of the episode and then loses it at the end of the episode. Oh, and he's also a major fucking perv. But we'll talk about that later. From what I've heard, everyone mostly remembers the opening song from the show, which is honestly a straight banger.
Life begins after school. That's when we bend all the rules. Time to hang with all my friends. We like to be together in a place where we belong.
I mean, it's bright, it's upbeat, it makes you want to grab a group of friends and actually do shit as opposed to your normal activities. The episodes that stuck in my mind are Girly Boys and Dude of the Living Dead, which is actually the first episode I saw of the show. So in Girly Boys, Jonesy walks up to the group at the mall at the classic table next to the lemonade stand, and it turns out that he is a unibrow. So naturally, Caitlin takes him to a nearby spa to get that shit waxed. We also learned that Jude has a skateboard match with this punk named Mike Dent, so Jonesy soon convinces Wyatt and Jude to join him at the spa because of all the hot ladies.
But I have found the greatest place in the whole mall to pick up chicks. The spa. The place is crawling with chicks. And the best part is they're all practically naked. Seriously?
But something happens that just blows my mind, honestly. Remember when I was discussing how insane it was that Total Drama Island censored boobs and dicks on a show on Cartoon Network? Well, in 16, the innuendos are just a little more than an innuendo. Just watch this.
Oh yeah.
So basically, as an adult, we're all thinking, wow, Jonesy's straight up getting a sloppy car wash happy ending at this spa right now. But of course, that was just a joke. I seriously don't know how this slipped in a show rated PG. His sexual eyes mixed with those sound effects.
Oh yeah.
I need a shower, man. But yeah, no, it's absolutely hilarious to notice this adult stuff in the show that I didn't really realize it contained. Like later in that episode, Jonesy getting his dick censored and flashing his friend bros. But soon the boys go crazy with spa stuff. Jude wins his skating match.
Every loser has his day, Lisowski.
And it looks like today is all yours, bruh.
And somewhere down the line, Caitlin got fat, and then she got less fat, and that was her entire plot line, and the end. So looking at Dude of the Living Dead is the last episode of the first season, and the first episode I ever watched, which is kind of odd since the entire episode is a zombie apocalypse and everyone fucking dies. So when I actually watched the real show, I was incredibly confused as to why everyone was alive and joyful when they all went through some terrible fucking horror. But this episode has to be one of my favorites though. It opens with Jude at his new food job and committing arson on this buff dude's lungs. He soon goes to hang out with his friends and notices something in the distance, but of course only he notices it. Jen soon walks up with a mad volcano on her forehead, and Caitlin discusses a date with her new boyfriend. Now, what happens next is just fucking absurd. We cut to Jonesy at his new job at a clothing store, and he has a fucking peephole in the women's dressing room. So this man is straight up spying so creepily on women changing in a PG cartoon.
Okay, she's blonde, hot, and she's taking off her coat. Now her sweater. Want me to keep going? Yes. Okay, I've got some jean unbuttoning action. Yes, jeans definitely coming off.
And throughout the episode, this man meets little to no repercussions for that. Like, are we supposed to be rooting for this dude perving on women like that? So later on, Wyatt and Jonesy get together, then soon each character finds out about the Zambos.
Ah, what is that?
Hey, Vsauce, Michael here.
Hey guys!
Halt! This is not very sportsmanlike of you.
Do you want my head delivered to your door in a box?
And they all get together and hurdle up. Caitlin's boyfriend gets bit and becomes a Zambo, but she still keeps him around all Michonne from The Walking Dead style, which doesn't make sense because she once dumped a guy for having back pimples, but now she's keeping a guy even though he's a fucking zombie. What are her standards? I don't understand. Later down the line, everyone takes refuge in a store, but it turns out one of Nikki's coworkers is infected with the zombie plague. But once they cut to commercial, they completely forget about it for a moment. Eventually, they all make attempts to escape and each get picked off and die until it turns out to be a dumb dream in the end. It shouldn't have been a dream. Everyone should have just fucking died. That should have been the finale of the show. That would have been great. Somehow, that's still my favorite episode. I don't know why. It's just cheesy and fun. But overall, 16 is a pretty good show. Despite my numerous gripes about the show with the characters, the animation, the moral lessons, every episode is a really fun time. Things can get so insanely stupid that you can laugh at the show, or you can find the hidden gem jokes sprinkled throughout that let you laugh with the show instead.
Are you a meat dancer, Wyatt? A meat dancer? No, it's okay, Wyatt. I used to be a meat dancer too. It's how I got started. Started? Yep, but now I'm a competitive ballroom dancer. I'm officially out of the freezer.
There have been conversations of the show getting a reunion episode, but we know that Jude is going to be in that Teen Titans Go version of Total Drama Island, which makes me very uncomfortable. The 6 16-year-olds of the show 16 are characters I grew up with and laughed at immensely. Looking back at the very weird aspects of the show made me feel kinda grimy, but it's overall another ballsy Canadian animation and you gotta love it. 3 of my Do You Remember videos have been on Canadian productions, which is just something to think about. I mean, I live in Florida. That's like so far from Canada. I have no idea what Canada is like, but they produce some amazingly interesting gems to enjoy, so props to them. Now if you'll excuse me, I'm gonna go live out my glory days. Just a big thank you to Riley Gosnell, Destiny Matheny, Brad Pepper, Christian St. Croix, Charlie Bidgood, Mike Nelson, YT Thunder, Pedro, Peachy Dolly, Freddy, and Pravakin, and all of the other amazing Patreons that are supporting me on Patreon that make this channel survive.
Can't believe I'm doing this. Make sure you get the backs of my knees. What? Ah! Didn't you ever take gym class?